Welcome back. Here we are back in front of the duplex that's going to be restored this year. We got more perennials to dig up. So come and join me and I'll show you what we're doing. Come on over. My name is David Morton. I'm the Landscape Curator here at Brucemore. It's a 26-acre estate located in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and it's one of the few National Trust historic sites in the Midwest. And this show is about how to create this little piece of paradise in your own backyard. A day in the life of a gardener. As you recall, we are in front of the servants' duplex, which is being restored this year. And we were wanting to save some of the perennials that are planted around the exterior of the building. We're sentimental about some of our perennials, so we're going to try to dig them up. It's early spring, we should be okay. I prefer to do it in the fall, but sometimes you don't have a choice. You're moving or you're having work done and you got to get those perennials out. So let me show you how you want to do that. Join us. Okay, so we're back in the other bed. Now there were some annuals planted here too. This is verbena or lantana. And this won't come back. So we're just going to pull that out, get it out of our way. There's a couple of them in here. Just get those out of the way. You know, clear the area here so that we can see what we're working with. Now these are daffodils, and normally you want to do most of your transplanting of those in the fall, but again, we're in a crisis mode here. This building is going to be worked on, and so these beds are just going to be destroyed. So we thought we would try and go ahead and lift these bulbs out. And you want to be kind of careful because you don't want to chop any of the bulbs in half. And if you can, I would try to keep as much soil around them as you can and then gently move them. You can put these in a pot like we did earlier. Put some soil in the bottom there. But you see, you want to make sure you're not cutting the bulb when you're digging. So you want to be very careful, which is why we wanted to pull some of this stuff away. But then you're just going to put them in here in the pot. And of course you can keep them outside because they're already used to the temperature and the climate. And that way you can save them, especially if they have some sentimental value for you, which a lot of bulbs do. That's another thing you can do if you need to move them right away. But see, like I cut that one. I think it would be worth saving. But you want to be very gentle with your shovel if you can, because this isn't, again, like I say, it's not the ideal time of year to be doing this. But if you don't have a choice, it's either that or lose them, it'd be worth trying to save them. Now if you do keep them, I mean, you might lose the bulbs, the flowers on them this year, but that's okay. You can still put them in the garden and just let them do their thing and let them acclimate to the new spot. Very simple. So with bulbs, it would be the same as if they're in the garden. Once they're done blooming, they're spent and the leaves start to turn yellow. You want the leaves to die back naturally. You don't want to pull those leaves off prematurely because that's the way the plant photosynthesizes and is able to produce the energy it's going to need to bloom the following year. So you always want to let your bulbs die back naturally, even in the pot or in the garden. Either way. It's important to remember that, because if you cut off the leaves prematurely, you're going to cut off your blooms for the following season. Important to remember. There's one more plant we want to save over here, and that's our sedum. Now sedums are another really pretty hardy plant, and this is last year's flowers, as you can see. And what I would do is, again, you're going to want to clear away all the old spring material, the leaves from the fall that were protecting them over the winter. But you can see, here's their sedum right here. And again, you're going to be very careful as you pull them up. Get everything out of the way so that you're not trying to struggle. You can see exactly where you're going to be digging. Looks like there's some bearded iris in here as well, which should be another item that you can dig up. But again, be very careful. Go in there, try to save as much of the root as possible. That'll help alleviate some of the shock it might go through. But again, you can take this and put them in a pot like we showed before. There you go. Now again, some of this might die back, but it's either that or lose them, because this area is going to be worked on this year, and so whatever's left here is just going to be left to whatever happens to them. So this way we can try to save these, and you can take this right into the garden, or like I say, put it in a pot. Pot it up for a holding area, say. That way you can hold on to it until you're ready and you know exactly where you want to put it. Or if you're moving to a new place, you'll know where you want to put it. But perennials are good that way. So look what I accidentally dug up, because we had this bed pretty thickly planted. This is a bearded iris. Fortunately, I think bearded iris are pretty hardy, and you can actually dig them up almost any time of year, except for when they're blooming or when it's really hot. But this time of year, it's still very cool temperatures. They're starting to poke through. And this is the bulb, and you can go ahead and plant this in your garden, or again, pot them up if you're just trying to move some sentimental plants to a new space. And then you'll want to bury them. You want to leave part of this root, this rhizome above the ground, because as you can see, when it's growing, it likes to have a lot of its rhizome above the ground. So you don't want to bury that. You do want to bury these. This is the roots, but this part you want to leave up. And then we also discovered a little Columbine here growing in here. Again, you could take that up and transplant that this time of year if you wanted to. Looks like there's quite a few tucked in here. Again, if you're in a situation where you're moving, or you have some sentimental plants that you want to bring with you to your new place or plant them somewhere else, you can do that this time of year. You just got to water them well. Yay! Happy gardening. So we did a lot of work today. We saved some perennials because there's going to be a lot of construction on this building. And so we wanted to save some of the perennials, and we were able to dig them up. We're going to plant them in the garden, or we might just hang on to them, put them in the cold frames, and when they're done with this area, we can replant them. Which is why it's a good idea to sometimes have these little containers. You'll just have to keep them growing over the summer, but we can do that. But this is a good way to save some plants that you might feel sentimental about, and know that it's okay this time of year to do some of this if you have to. Of course, the fall is always better, but early spring, they'll survive. Perennials are perennials. Thanks for joining us, and happy gardening. Remember, every garden counts. Come back and see us again here on A Day in the Life of a Garden. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to see more, hit the like button, the notification bell, and subscribe to the channel.